So welcome you all in the sixth lecture of embedded systems. So in the last lecture we have talked about the control path and data path of the control unit, and we have taken two examples of GCD and a temperature controller. Also in the last class we have seen that apart from the three categories of processors, there comes a category which is in between application specific information processor and ASICs, right? So what are those categories? Those categories are called as programmable logic devices, and especially there is a special programmable logic devices which is called as field programmable gate array, right? So we have seen that in digital circuits PLDs can be implemented using and or plane through some interconnections, right? So what are those interconnections? So let's say these are some interconnections, and these are some interconnections, and let's say that we want to implement a function which is xy plus yz complement plus zx bar. So we could implement this function through some OR gates and gates, right? So this could be done by taking some AND gates and OR gates, right? So how will you implement it? So x and y we are getting from here, and that can be fed here, and here y is there, so this is x and y, and let's say z bar is coming here, so this you can feed here. Similarly you can get z here, and this is your x bar, so this you can feed here, okay, and overall you can add using another OR gate. So this function can be implemented using AND and OR gates. Now what FPGAs have, as I told that FPGA contains a lot of configurable logic box, right? So FPGA contains a lot of CLBs, okay. FPGA contains a lot of CLBs. So what are those CLBs? Those are configurable logic blocks which can be programmed. So these CLBs can be programmed. So that is why the name is field programmable gate array. So there are some arrays of CLBs which can be programmed. Also we have seen that to connect so to implement any logic function, we can use several CLBs, and to connect several CLBs we have interconnections. So we have, let's say, interconnections, right? Now how to establish interconnection, right? Suppose you want to connect this CLB and this CLB. Also let's take another CLB here. So let's suppose you want to connect this CLB and this CLB. So in between those CLB we have the interconnections, and interconnections can be implemented through switch boxes. So these interconnections, there are some switch boxes. I'll call it as SB, let's say 0, Similarly, we have SB, let's say 1. Here also we have SB. So all these are SBs, right? So we have switch boxes. So using switch boxes, we can implement these interconnections. Okay. So we will also see in detail what is there in these blocks, right? But before that, we could talk about FPGA, like what are the major companies which are providing FPGA. So there are different types of FPGA, and mainly two companies are there in market which are selling FPGA and used worldwide. One is very famous company, that is Xilinx, and another is Actel. Okay, but mostly people buy from Xilinx, and Xilinx also sell different types of FPGAs. Okay, so you could get high-end FPGA as well as low-end FPGA. Now, what is there in these basically CLBs, right? So what is there in CLB? Okay. So before understanding CLBs, or let's take CLB itself. So what is there in CLB? So if I draw the CLB block, so CLB is nothing but there is one lookup table, LUT, and there is a D flip-flop, and there is a mux here, multiplexer. So the output can go to D flip-flop from LUT, or it can be fed to the mux directly, right? So this is a mux, right? So for selecting either of the input, I need a selection line, right? So which could be programmed, right? So if I fed it 0, I will take input directly from LUT, otherwise I will take input from the D flip-flop. So it could be either 0 or it could be 1. So this is the internal block diagram of very simple CLB. Okay, there are some much more complex CLBs are there, but this is a very simplified block diagram of a CLB. Now we will see what is LUT. So LUT is nothing but a lookup table. So what is the meaning of lookup table? So let's take one example first to understand the lookup table. So let's suppose we want to implement let's suppose we want to implement AND gate, or we want to implement OR gate, right? So we could implement in FPGA. Now how will I implement this function? So what is an AND gate function? AND gate function is very simple function. Let's say 3 input AND gate, A, B and C, right? And we have some output, right? So if I draw the truth table of this one, A, B and C, I will have 1 when all are 1, otherwise I will get 0, right? So this is the truth table of AND gate. Now we have studied that NAND gate or NOR gate are the universal gate, right? So using these gates I can implement any functions. Now if I say that MUX also is a universal circuit, right? Can I implement any function using a MUX? So I will see, I will show you how can I implement a general function or any function, let's say AND function or OR function using simple MUX. Okay, so what is actually a MUX? So MUX is nothing but, okay, so what is MUX actually? Let's suppose I want to implement AND gate using MUX, right? So what will I do? So if I draw AND gate truth table, so let's take A, B and C. There are 3 inputs and we have one output, right? So what could be the input combination? 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 1 0 0 1 1 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 1 0 and finally 1 1 1. So we have output that must be 0 when, sorry, that must be 1 when all the inputs are 1, otherwise you will get 0, right? Suppose I want to implement this AND gate using a mux. So what will I do? I will feed the inputs as a selection line here. So let's take, these are the 3 inputs A, B and C, and these outputs I am taking here. So there are 8 outputs, so let me write 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and there is one more 8, right? So if I feed it here, so it will be 0 0 0 0 0 and this is 1, right? So you can understand in such a way that if the inputs are let's say the input is 1 0 0, right? So what will happen? The fifth input will be selected, right? So fifth input will be selected. So whatever with the fifth input, I will get the same output, right? So what will happen? Let's suppose the input is 1 0 0. So what will happen? I will select this line, right? I will select this line. So whatever the input is there at this mux, that input will be propagated to the output, right? So similarly, in this way you can implement any function. Now what is a lookup table? So I will use this same idea in the lookup table. So lookup table says that whatever the outputs we have, okay, whatever the output we have, we store in a table. So let's take 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. So what are the outputs? Any output, whatever output we have, we will feed it here. So 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1, right? And we have some input, right? So inputs could be A, B, C. Okay, so let's suppose if I take input as 0 0 0, what will happen? Whatever the first memory location is there, so you can understand this lookup table as a memory. So let's suppose this is a memory, and whatever the memory location I want to select, I can give the input, a particular input, right, through a mux kind of structure, right? So if I give a 0 0 0, I will choose this memory location, right? So whatever the stored bit is there at that particular memory location, that will be given as output, right? So this is called, this is nothing but a lookup table, and it is used to implement the combinational circuit, right? Now what is a CLB? The CLB is nothing but it contains a lookup table. So lookup table is nothing but kind of memory locations. So I am looking up actually what bit I have to take as output, right? So that is why the name is lookup table. Okay, so the output is coming from the lookup table. So any output can come depending on the input, right? So that input I could fed it through D flip-flop, or I could fed it directly using multiplexer, and multiplexer need a selection line, right? So what is the logic of these D flip-flop? So D flip-flop is used, suppose the output is there, okay, whatever the output is there, that could be fed directly or it can be fed after a 1 clock delay. Okay, so this flip flop is working as a buffers. After 1 clock delay it is available here. So if I keep it 0, I will choose this output, this as a output here. Otherwise, I will choose the output from the D flip flop, right? So both can be programmed. Okay, so this CLB, sorry, this is LUT. Okay, so this LUT also can be programmed, and this MUX also can be programmed, right? So both are programmable. When what is this? This is nothing but a CLB, configurable logic block. So CLB is programmable, right? CLB is programmable. So we have seen that this is programmable. Now what else is there? A CLB is programmable. Now we have several CLBs. We cannot implement all the functions using single CLB, so we have to use a number of CLBs, maybe a couple of CLB or more than couple of a CLB depending on the input logic function. Now what will I do? I need to program the interconnections, right? So how will I establish interconnection? Establishing interconnection. So how will I implement interconnection? I could do it in two ways. One is anti-fuse type interconnection, or another is static RAM based interconnection. So what is what are these interconnection? So what is anti-fuse type interconnection? So anti-fuse type interconnection means, let's suppose these are some connections. So these are not connected lines, right? So you can understand these two lines are on top of each other. Now I want to connect, let's suppose, this line and this line. So how will I connect it actually? So let's suppose I want to connect this line and this line. So how will I connect it? So I can connect it through some wire. Okay, so you can understand in this way. So we have the fuse at our electric meters or electric circuits. So what is the work of fuse? So if some more current will come, then what will happen? That fuse will break, and it will break the connections, right? But here you can understand the anti-fuse type as this way. So let's suppose these are these two are conductors. These two are basically conductors, and this is some insulators. If you provide a input signal more than some threshold, then what will happen? This insulator will conduct after certain threshold. So when the insulator will conduct, it will break and it will provide a connection. So these two wires are connected, right? So this is called as anti-fuse type. This is called as anti-fuse type connections, and these anti-fuse types connections are permanent. Permanent means once the insulator is gone, that means you cannot again replace it, right? This connection became permanent. So that is why we don't have flexibility. So what we did, or what is the advancement? So people used SRAM based interconnections. So what is SRAM based interconnection? So let's suppose I want to connect these two wires. So what I will do, I will place a transistor here. This is basically a transistor. So this is the gate of the transistor, and these type of transistors are called as pass transistors. Pass transistor. So if I apply one here, what will happen? These two connections are connected. Otherwise, if I apply 0 here, these two are not connected. So what will happen? We can program it. Okay, we can program the interconnection. So these connections are configurable. Okay, configurable, right? Now what will happen? Let's take an example using that example we can implement a function. Okay, so let's take a very simple example. So again we will take the same example. Let's suppose we want to implement a AND gate. So what is an AND gate? So let's take an AND gate which we want to implement on a FPGA. So let's take 4 input AND gate. Okay, let's take 4 input AND gate. So inputs are, let's say, A, B, C and D. There will be some output. So what I have to do first? I have to draw the truth table. So A, B, C, D, and this is your output, right? So what are the possible combinations? So this will be 0 when inputs are 0 0 0 0. When input is 0 0 0 1, then also output will be 0, and output will be 1 when all the inputs are 1, right? So this is the truth table of AND gate. Now how will I decide the truth table for LUTs? What is the LUT for this case? So what LUT does, whatever the output are there, that you feed it as in the memory location of LUT. So what will I feed here? So these are some memory locations in the lookup table. Okay, so this will be 0 0 0 0, all are 0 and last will be 1, and here there are 4 inputs. So sorry, this is this direction, A, B, C, D, right? So let's suppose the input is 0 0 1 0, then output will be at this location, output is 0, so the output it will fed as 0. If all the inputs are 1, output will be 1, right? Now how will I establish interconnections? So as I told previously, that interconnections can be established through switch boxes, right? Interconnection can be implemented using switch boxes. So what a one switch box contains? So one switch box contains 6 pass transistors. So let me draw a internal diagram of a switch box. So let's suppose I want to connect these 2 points. Okay, so let's suppose I have 4 points. So I could go from here to here. Sorry, this line is not perfect. So let me draw the, okay, so I could come through this one. Let's suppose this is A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. Okay, so there are 4 connections. I could come from here to here, or I could come from, I want to connect these 2, right? Or I can come through this path, right? Or I can come through this path, right? Similarly, I can come through this path, right? And or I want to connect, let's say I want to connect D and B, right? So if I have to connect A and D, I have to keep this transistor in conducting mode, others will be 0. Or let's suppose I want to connect A to C, then what will happen? I will keep it 1 here, rest of the transistors will be, or SRAM will be 0. Sorry, this is already 1, so this is 1, all other are 0. So what will happen? There is a connections, the current will flow in this direction, so these 2 CLBs are connected. Are you getting my point? So how will you establish connection? So let's suppose this is your CLB1 here, CLB2 here, CLB3 here, CLB4 here. So I want to connect CLB2 and CLB4, then this connection will be on, other will be 0, and you can do it for other also. Is it clear to all of you? Right. Now let's take another example. AND gate is very easy to implement. You can implement it, right, using a single CLB also. Right. Now let's suppose I'll take a example which cannot be implemented in, or which could be implemented, but I want to show like how could I implement a function using 2 or more CLBs. So let's suppose we want to implement a function which is something like this, which we have we have a AND gate, right? We have the AND gate, then we have a D flip-flop, and then we have a XOR gate, right? So this is your input, let's call it as A, this is B, and there is another input C which is directly coming from here and going to this one. This is your output. So let's suppose this function I want to implement on a FPGA. Okay, so now how will I implement, and how in real time FPGA works? So what will I do? FPGA are having nothing but configurable blocks. So let's draw a configurable block here. So let's say this is your CLB 0, this is your CLB 2, this is your CLB 1, this is your CLB 4. Okay, so now I am taking, let's take 4 CLB, and for connecting the CLB we should have a switch boxes. So let's call switch box 0, this will be switch box 1, this will be switch box 4, and there will be another switch box that is switch box 2. So I could connect CLB 0 to CLB 4, and there will be another switch box that is SB 3, right? So now so if I connect it like this, right now these are not connected, I am just establishing connections. Right. So now okay, so now I want to implement this function. So how can I implement? So I could implement using one CLB also, but I want to show it that this function can be implemented using 2 CLBs. So let's suppose this function I want to implement using a CLB1, and this function which is this one, this I want to implement using CLB2. So what I will do, this CLB I will program this function, and I will program on CLB2 this XOR gate function, right? So what I am requiring, so I have to connect these CLB 0 and CLB 2. So which things I have to program? So I have to program CLB 0, I have to program CLB 2, and I have to program switch box 1, right? So how will I program it? Okay, so programming means I am establishing connections, right? So this programming can be done in VHDL language or Verilog language programming. So VHDL is nothing but VLSI hardware description language, right? So I can program using these language. Okay, so this is a user can program, So once this is programmed, program means we are establishing connections, right? So once this is programmed, we will get a configuration bits. We will get configuration bits, right? Once the program is run, finally I will get a configuration bits, and that will be dumped on FPGA, or that will be loaded on FPGA, right? And FPGA will implement that function, right? So I need to get configuration bits for CLB 0, CLB 2 and SB1. Now I have two flexibility. So what I can do, I am giving input here and here. So this is A, this is B, and C I am giving in the CLB2, and this another input in the CLB2 is coming from the CLB0, right? Now I have two possibility. I can take output from here, or I could take output from here. So if I take output from here, I no need to program other switch box, but if I take output from CLB4, I need to program SB4 and CLB4, or let's call it as 3, because we have CLB 0, 1, 2 and 3. So we have to program CLB 3, right? So now we'll see how to program this CLBs. So what is actually CLB? So let's take first CLB, what is the name? 0, I think. Let me go through. This is CLB 0, right? Okay, so CLB 0. So let me program for CLB 0. So what is CLB 0? So any CLB has, what CLB is having? CLB is having one lookup table and D flip-flop, and then finally a multiplexer, right? So we have how many inputs? We have two inputs, A and B. So there are 4 outputs. So when input is, what is the input? If you try the input is nothing but AND gate, and there is a D flip-flop, right? So what is the input? Input is a AND gate. AND gate means the output will be 1 when both the inputs are 1, right? So this is your LUT, right? And this is your D flip-flop. So output can be coming directly or through D flip-flop, right? So this is the program we have for CLB 0. Now what is output I want actually? So I am programming, let's call it as CLB 0, and this is the name is CLB 2, right? So what I am programming here? I am programming CLB 0 and CLB 2. Now I want output here from D flip-flop or directly. We don't want directly, because simultaneously CLB2 is also doing some computation, right? So we need to wait for some time. So what I will do, I want the output here after 1 clock cycle. So I have to program this mux as 1. So what it will do, it will choose the output from D flip-flop rather than a direct output, right? So this will be output, let's call it as 1. And what will be CLB 2? This also has LUT, it has a D flip-flop, and it has mux, right? So the output can be coming directly or through D flip-flop, right? So here we are having two inputs. What are the two inputs? One is this output 1 and another is C, right? Then we want output directly, because here where is that CLB2? Okay, so here output we are getting from the CLB 0, and directly input is available, C is available, so I will get directly the output. There is no delay, we don't want any delay. So I have to program this mux as 0, right? So I will get the final output. And what will be there in lookup table? So we have to implement XOR gate here, right? So XOR gate means output will be 1 when either of the input is 1. So I have fed that here, right? So this is the internal configuration of or internal program of CLBs, right? Now what will be the configurable bits? What will be the configurable bits? So configurable bits, configuration bits or configuration bits. What will be the configuration bits for CLB0? So what will be the configuration bits? So configuration bit if I draw, so what is the configuration bits? This is 0 0 0 1. So LUT I have to keep it 0 0 0 1. So I will write it. This is 0 0 0 1. What else you have to program? You have to program the mux. So mux is 1 here. So I will write 1 here. Similarly, I have to program CLB. What will be the CLB1? We are not doing anything with that. So I will simply not program it. What will be the CLB2? CLB2 means this CLB, right? What will the program of this CLB? This will be 0 1 1 0 and finally we are getting 0. So this will be 0 1 1 0 and this is, I am missing it. So, okay, correct, right? So this will be the oh sorry, this is not 1, this is 0, right? Because we are getting output directly. So this will be the configuration bits for CLBs. Now what will be the configuration bits for switch box? What is the switch box name? Switch box name is SB1. So what will be the configuration bits for switch box? We have to program it, right? So what is the configuration bits? So what is the structure for switch box? If I draw the structure of switch box, okay, so this is the switch box 1, right? So which connection I want to establish? So I want to establish this connection, right? This connection means CLB2 to CLB0 to CLB2, right? We don't want any other connection. We don't want this connection and that connection, right? So which one will be conducted? So we want, this is your CLB0. Here we have CLB2. So I want this connection to be 1. So I will keep it 1 here, other will be 0. Okay, so we have name for this one also. So what will be the configuration for SB1? SB1 will be all other are 0. Okay, fifth one will be, so this is first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. So fifth one will be 1 and last will be 0, right? What will be the switch box 0? Switch box 0 is this one, nothing we are doing with this one. So this will be simply 0 0 0 0 0, right? Okay, now what will be switch box 2? That will also be 0 0 0 0 0. What will be switch box 3? So what is switch box 3? Switch box 3 is this one. We are not doing connecting anything. So this will also be 0 0 0 0 0. Now SB4. So what will be SB4? So as I told that I could take output from CLB2 directly or I could take from CLB3. So now if I take output from CLB3, I have to do connections in SB4 also, right? So what will be the connection? So connection will be this path and this path will be conducted, right? This point and this point will be conducted. Rest of the points will be 0. So what will be the connection? 0 0 0 0 0 and last one will be 1. So in that case this will be 1, this will be 0, right? So this will be there when output we are taking from CLB3. Now we have to program CLB3 also in that case. So what will be the configuration bits for CLB3? So configuration bit will be, can you tell me configuration bits? So what is the structure? What is the structure for which gate I have to implement in LUT? Can you tell me? So what we want actually? We want the output when there is some input, right? So we want the output here when there is some input, right? Input means both the inputs are 1. Okay, so in that case, what will be the LUT of CLB3? So this will be simply AND gate, right? If all the inputs are available, then only it will give output. It should give output, otherwise it should not give any output. And we don't want any delay, right? So we are taking directly output here. So how will I take directly input from in the mux? So I have to apply here 0. So what will be the configuration bits? So configuration bits will be 0 0 0 1 for LUT, and this is for mux. So this will be the configuration bit for CLB3. So this is how FPGA can implement any logic function, right? So if you are this very small program we have seen. Now if you have to implement very complex functions, there are different ISEs, that is nothing but developing environments. We have some developing environment, right? So these developing environments are provided from different companies. So ISE is the developing environment of Xilinx. Okay, so where you can do programming in either VHDL or Verilog, right? So if I do the programming in VHDL or Verilog, I have to write program in these two languages, right? So how will I write a program? Okay, so I can write a program in two ways, either behavioral way or structural way. So what is the meaning of behavioral? Behavioral means what the system should behave, right? So suppose I have to design a system, I should know that how the system is going to behave and what will be the internal structure of that block, right? So what we can do, we can just program in a overall way, right? So how the programming is done in FPGA. So let's suppose you want to implement any function, right? So we call that function, first you take the function as an entity, right? So we call that as entity. So we will define first an entity, and we should know what should be the behavior of that entity. So it should have some input and it will be having some output. So here input and outputs are called as ports. Okay, so I will take a few examples on VHDL programming, and I will recommend you to do some implementation for any functions on the FPGA. Yes, there are different versions or different types of FPGAs are available depending on the high-end or low-end applications. So Spartan is one. So Spartan also has different versions. Vertex, right? Vertex FPGAs are also available. There are various other kinds of FPGA, right? So you have to be familiar with the functions of those FPGA. Now any entity we can define in a behavioral way or a structural way. So once this entity is programmed and implemented, I will get a configuration bit, and these configuration bits are dumped on FPGA for final implementation, right? So it will give all those things like what is the power consumption, what is the area, and all those things, right? So here we have simply in the last example we have simply chosen the CLB, and we have just not optimized it, right? But in a complex functions you have to consider all the requirements, right? Power requirements, area requirements, right? So all the other requirements you have to optimize. So I will take one example of a half adder. So let's suppose if I want to implement a half adder on FPGA, so how will I implement a half adder? So first I have to do programming in a behavioral way and then structural way. So I will take example of these programming techniques. So what will I do? I will define first an entity of a half adder, right? So half adder has some inputs. What are the inputs? So there are two inputs, A and B, and third will be enable, right? So half adder has two output, one is sum, another is carry. Now how will I define entity in VHDL? So for defining this entity in VHDL, I have to write program in this way. So I have to write entity. So black box is implemented as an entity. So entity, the type of the entity we are defining it as half adder is. So is a keyword. Okay. So then we have to define the port of the black box. What are the ports? So we have A and B are the, and another is enable. These are the ports. What kind of ports? These are input ports. So I have to define the port type is input port, and the data type of input port is bit type. So it can take either 0 or 1. It could take another example, you can take as a vector also. So there you have to define 3 to 0, or if you want to take a byte, so you have to define a vector as a 7 to 0, right? So that I will see in the other examples, but here we have the input type as bit type, right? Then what is output? So output we have as carry and sum, and this is of type output. Okay, and data type is bit. I will close the bracket here with semicolon. Okay, so this is the syntax in the VHDL to create an entity, right? So now we have defined that entity in a behavioral way. So I will continue this lecture in the next class. Okay, and I will take this example and continue to implement in a structural way, and we will see a one